So, Call of Duty World War II came out on November 3rd, and it was one of the worst video game launches I've ever been a part of. Countless bugs, countless crashes and issues, and server disconnects, and all kinds of mismanagement by the Sledgehammer Games team. I mean, there was XP bugs, there was people not being able to even sign on for days after the game's release, but now, fast forward a few weeks and the game is in a stable condition. You have the headquarters that just finally came back online today, it seems like everything's running smoothly. I took a break for about a week just because the bugs and everything was really getting to me and I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it. I wanted to wait until the game was fixed before I hopped back in. So I hopped back in today. I've been playing a few matches. I've probably played about 4 or 5 hours more of multiplayer today, and honestly, there's still a little bit of jank, but I would say that this is the state that the game should have released in, and things seem to be working at least semi smoothly. I'll say semi smoothly, not quite where I think it needs to be, but it's much more improved. Thankfully, the game's player base doesn't seem to have, died down at all. It's still a new Call of Duty game, so there's still plenty of people playing, so getting into matches, even with the horrible server browsing and stuff, was never inherently difficult. But there are, server-side issues. There's still netcode issues going on. I mean, it was really, really shameful, especially for the launch condition of a brand new $60 game in 2017. I mean, this was worse than Battlefield 4, worse than, I can't even think of a game, a modern game release that's been as bad as this. But the real question is why? Why did this happen? I mean, this game's been in development for 3 years. Sledgehammer Games, they've been around Call of Duty. They know how to make a Call of Duty game, and Activision as well. They have the funds available to make the game work. So why didn't it? And what could Sledgehammer Games have done to prevent this launch from happening? Now, I think that a lot of the problem stems from what interviews and information we have about the start of this game, the inspiration for this game. Originally, Sledgehammer Games was wanting to make Advanced Warfare 2. They were set on just continuing that franchise. They wanted to continue on with the Advanced Warfare name, continue the futuristic warfare thing, but I mean, as we all know, the futuristic warfare and the advanced movement style, people don't really like that as much anymore. It was cool when Advanced Warfare did it, got a little stale by Black Ops 3, and by Infinite Warfare, oh boy, people were not happy. I mean, Infinite Warfare has its other issues, but advanced movement was one thing that people really didn't like about that game. So they were planning on doing Advanced Warfare 2, but Activision stepped up and said, "Hey, nope, you're not doing that. You're gonna make a different game." So they were pretty much forced. They forced their hand. They were forced to make a game that they were not inherently wanting to make. I mean, I'm sure they wanted to, but it was forced upon them. So it was probably changed and had to go through numerous rewrites conceptually. They had to work out kinks and develop some new features and tech for the game. So I bet you that a lot of dev time was taken up with that process of switching games conceptually, basically being told they had to make this boots on the ground World War II experience that all the fans were asking for, instead of being able to make the sequel to their Advanced Warfare series. I don't know when in development that took place. I don't know if it was a year in development or just 6 months. We don't know, because when Advanced Warfare came out, people were pretty hot on the futuristic setting and the advanced movement. I know I was. I still think Advanced Warfare is a great game. Really pushed the envelope of what a Call of Duty game could be. That being said, I do think this game conceptually and in execution is actually much better than Advanced Warfare, even if the story's not as good. But again, I'm rambling. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about how this game could have been, how this game's launch issues could have been avoided. So, the conceptual phase, that might have had something to do with it. But you know what I think the real big problem is? This game didn't have an open beta. I mean, it did, technically. I gotta give them some credit where some credit's due. They did have an open beta on PC, where, 1%, possibly less, of the Call of Duty community plays. They had an open beta on PC. But on consoles, they did not. On both Xbox and PS4, you needed to pre-order the game in order to even, have access to the beta, which is weird. It's the first time they've done this. Because Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3 both had open betas, so that's a little weird. You got in earlier if you pre-ordered, but if you did wait, it was an open beta. Destiny 2, another Activision game, did the same thing. They had a private beta for pre-orders, then they opened it up for the last weekend and let people play. So if they did that, betas are meant, more than just a demo of trying the game out, see if you like it. That's one thing, but what they're really meant for is late game balancing and server maintenance and things like that, and testing to see if your game can handle launch and all sorts of stuff. That way the game is ready for launch. It's like an open stress test, if you will, to make sure the game is ready for launch. Now, Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare both had their server issues at launch, but they were nowhere near this, this level. I think that if they had a public open beta for all console users, people would have got a chance to, try the game, yes, who were not sure if they wanted to buy it or not, or they would have got to, just stress test the servers. Making sure to get as many people playing as possible so they can make sure their servers can handle it, because their servers could not handle it. I mean, we're talking almost 20 days later. This game is almost 20 years old, oh my gosh, 20 years now. This game is almost 20 days old, and it's just barely playable now. That's pretty sad. I know that Battlefield 4 took longer to fix, but the fact that a Call of Duty game in 2017 released in this state, it really is, it's quite shameful. And I mean, a lot of people are pretty mad. I'm still a little miffed. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I could have been, playing a working game during that time, but and I understand the people who are upset. They want their $60 game to work when they open it, and when they put it in their console, they want it to just work. And I'm the same way. I wanted that to. It's not what happened, and it's really disappointing. It's really actually quite shameful on Sledgehammer Games' part. I'm not sure, who exactly is more to blame, if it's Sledgehammer for not necessarily incompetence, because I know that all the developers there are, they're competent people. They can make a good game. They're very talented. All of the Call of Duty developers, even on the Infinity Ward side, they're talented individuals. It's just how things kind of come together sometimes. It doesn't always work. And I don't know whose decision it was to do a no open beta, but they're really suffering for it. I mean, we just see the launch of this game and how much better it could have been had they just stress test their servers, maybe invested in more servers for launch. I mean, Activision, they've got bottomless pockets at this point. Activision is not running out of money anytime soon. They could have splurged, the extra cash on some servers and saved themselves the huge PR hit that they took when this game launched. I mean, I know it's Call of Duty. People are going to buy it anyways. It's not like they needed the game to be, 100% working on launch night. People are still going to buy it. People are still going to play it. It's Call of Duty. They can do whatever they want and only see marginal, hits to their sales. I mean, they did postpone the microtransactions, so those aren't coming until I think tomorrow, or which should be the day that this video goes up, this Tuesday. So I believe that by the time this video goes live, there will be microtransactions in the game. So buckle up for that and the inevitable DLC weapons that are coming through that system. But I just think that obviously they see that it's important. They did delay their microtransactions to work on fixing the game, which is applaudable. Of course, obviously the fixing the game is much more important than launching micro DLC. But the fact that it even launched in this state, I mean, I don't really know. It's just dumb on Activision's part. Granted, I don't think they were purposefully trying to, release a buggy game. I don't think that, they woke up and said, hey, let's just, let's scrimp on the servers, let's make some, make these servers just as bare bones as we can, just to get, just to get people playing. That way, we already have their money, so it's not really a big deal. I don't think that they did that intentionally. I mean, it is Activision. Who knows? Maybe they did. I mean, geez, Activision's done worse. But I do think that, even if that wasn't their intention to release the game in the buggy mess that it did, the fact that it did just goes to show, you know, the state of gaming 2017. It's pretty sad. I mean, this year's been great for games, but oh man, there's some industry stuff going on that's just, oh boy. Anyways, I probably rambled on for way longer than I needed to, but yeah, Call of Duty World War II. Horrible launch, but quite a fun game, I'll admit. Are you guys playing World War II? Let me know what you guys think of the game in the comments section down below. I have been having a bit of fun with this game. I'm not quite done with the campaign. I finished probably about half of it, and then I've been playing pretty much all multiplayer since then, but been distracted by some other games lately, so I'm probably going to head back to campaign this week. And I want to prestige again, and then you know, finish off the campaign, play some zombies, hopefully make some more Call of Duty videos, because I have a few more things to say about this game before I do my review. I like to, you know, before I do reviews, get quite familiar with the game, get a lot of hands-on time. So this review is gonna come much sooner than my other COD reviews, because honestly, I didn't really care for Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, or you know, any of the other ones, so I kind of reviewed them late. But with this game, no, I'll get a review out on time while it's still relevant. I plan on doing quite a bit of reviews, you know, because there's a lot that came out that I really want to talk about, so I'm going to put a bit more effort into doing some of these, you know, getting some of these reviews finished off. So you guys can look forward to that, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay classy, guys.